Hi again, John Wesley Bready, page 312 of this Freedom Whence, talking about George Whitefield's enormous influence, especially in North America. And this contribution is about his gift to the higher education in North America. Even in education, Whitefield's contribution to American development was phenomenal. With the origins of several now famous universities, he was directly connected. Princeton University, wherewith the name of President Wilson is so closely connected, issued from the log college built on the Nesha Minnie by William Tennent and his son Glibert. That humble institution, with the support of Governor Belcher, a devoted follower of Whitefield, soon was transferred to Princeton, New Jersey, where, as Princeton College, it became the center for the training of Presbyterian ministers in 6 colonies. That is in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and Carolina. And in Princeton, it expanded into the now world-known university. In the infant days of this center of learning, Whitefield was to the Tennents and Belcher a tower of strength. Gilbert Tennent often accompanied Whitefield on his preaching missions, and on both sides of the Atlantic the evangelist raised for the struggling college substantial support. Whitefield was one of the first men upon whom Princeton conferred its M.A. degree. But Princeton was not an only child. No less than 62 American colleges trace their origin to the log college. With the origin of the University of Pennsylvania, Whitefield's connection was even more intimate. In 1740, his new building was erected in Philadelphia by warm supporters, including Benjamin Franklin. To it, the Awakener insisted on adding a charity school for the instruction of poor children gratis in the knowledge of the Christian religion and in useful literature. That charity school evolved first into an academy, then into Philadelphia College, and ultimately into the University of Pennsylvania. When, in 1914, on the bicentenary of Whitefield's birth, a noble statue of the evangelist was raised at the university, this statement was read, quote, "The inspirer and original trustee of the Charity School of 1740, the forerunner of the University of Pennsylvania, he solicited the first donations to the library of the university, guided the new school of learning by his godly counsel, heartened it by his masterful preaching, and inspired it with his noble life." End of quote. Zealous advocate and patron of higher education in the American colonies is one of the inscriptions on the pedestal of this memorial. But the man who, taking 2 continents under his wing, spent more than 2 years of his life upon Atlantic crossings, fostered education on both sides of the water. For charity schools in England, he raised such collections as never previously had been known. To Dr. Doddridge's Nonconformist Academy, he proffered yeoman assistance. Dartmouth College was equally indebted to him, while, after the destruction of Harvard's library by fire, he secured fresh gifts of books from England. Nor did he forget the American Indians, notwithstanding prevailing prejudice against the education of that fierce people. The Boston Gazette reports a single occasion when he collected £120 for Mr. Wheelock's Indian School in Lebanon, New England. Whitefield was a man of heart and soul too big to be understood by the swarm of little critics who buzzed so busily to besmirch his name. Franklin's unvarnished tribute, that is the tribute we put in the last segment, will stand the tests of time. Dr. Abel Stevens, in his History of the Methodist Episcopal Church, says, quote, "The Congregational Church of New England, the Presbyterians and Baptists of the Middle States, and the mixed colonies of the South owe their later religious life and energy mostly to the impulses given by Whitefield's powerful ministrations. The New England Church has received under his labors an inspiration of zeal and energy which has never died out. He extended the revival from the Congregational churches of the Eastern to the Presbyterian churches of the Middle States. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, he was received as a prophet from God. And it was then that the Presbyterian Church took that attitude of evangelical power and aggression which has ever since characterized it. The stock from which the Baptists of Virginia and those of the South and Southwest have sprung was also Whitefieldian. And although Whitefield did not organize the results of his labors, he prepared the way for Wesley's itinerants. When he descended into his American grave, they were already on his track. They came not only to labor, but to organize their labors, to reproduce, amid the peculiar moral necessities of the New World, both the spirit and the method of the great movement as it had been organized by Wesley in the Old. I'll put in a link to the work of A.H. Sayce of Oxford University. That great professor, specialist in the Old Testament, was determined in the wake of Darwinism and higher criticism to vindicate the Old Testament via archaeology, and he did so. So I'll put that link on your screen. See you soon.